Welcome to Talk Slick, the number one podcast for bridging the gap through family, lifestyle, and business. Tell us what you said, we'll tell you what they heard. Join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on all social media streaming platforms at 8 p.m. And don't forget to check out our social media handles at Talk Slick. Together, let's bridge the gap through communication. My name is Martin Alameen, the cute guy behind in front of cameras these days. Let's get right into it. Tonight, I have my co host, Nelly Phoenix.
Good night, everybody. Joining me besides Martin on the line, we have Miss Lisa, and also we have Mr. Sorry, Moboya. So we're gonna let them introduce themselves. Moboya was once with us. Want to say thank you for joining us again. So you guys tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Maboya. Everybody calls me Mo. You guys have heard me on this show once before, and it's my pleasure to once again be part of this conversation.
Hi, good night. My name is Carlisa, Lisa for short. I'm a nurse. Nice meeting you.
Sorry about that. I got bounced off. What did I miss?
All right. So, of course, I'll bring you guys up to speed. As we would have said, welcome back to the podcast. Tonight, we plan to focus a little bit on relationships. I mean, I know we all carry a different age range here. I would have just turned 30. The young lady is just under me. And of course, we have an older gentleman. So we have a list of experienced personnel and inexperienced personnel. Depends on how you look at it and how you take the message, of course. But for the listeners, we want to focus on relationships today because I in a mix up, as they just say, right? And everybody else have their own level of experience when it comes to relationship, dealing with the partner, the spouse, the husband, wife, whatever the case may be. And of course, we hope that you guys listening would be able to chime in and give your experience. So that way we could have an in-depth conversation and move forward.
With that being said, Martin, also, I think that we younger people, we have a different aspect of what we call relationship or what we call love because the other night I was doing a similar topic on TikTok and everybody had their own, you know, their own idolatry of what they think relationship is or what it should be. So that's why, we have someone that's older and someone in between and then the two younger persons on the line.
All right. So I want to go around the panel and ask everybody, what is your definition of relationship?
If you don't mind, Lisa, would you start off?
Sure, no problem. So, my point of view of relationship would be, hi, where male and female come together with good understanding, and they have you know, sexual intercourse and look forward to building together, etc. But then I know we're talking about relationship as in work wise, if it's with you know,
Well, it all depends on how you define relationship in general and what relationship is for you, right? Whether it be work, intercourse relationship, friendship, whatever the case may be. What is your definition? How do you define it? How do you classify it?
I could put it in a simple term as in a group of people or more than one people that enjoy one another company and have good understanding and communication. They're going to bring it in total for the friendship and everything and all.
Understood. Phoenix, would you like to give your definition?
I think a relationship is like a commitment or a bond between two or more persons.
Mm. And I guess I will go and we'll leave the experienced guy to break that down for himself. So for me, relationship is exactly what it sounds like, right? Relationship. I was always told growing up, a relationship is a leaky ship, right? Whereby if we know how a ship functions, it at some point the time is going to sail out and is going to be popped and is going to go down, right? So relationship for me is about the experience, and I don't have a definite definition for the word or the term relationship, but overall it's the experience that we share with each other coupled with everything else that comes with it.
Very well said, Martin. Very well said. To add to that, um, there are so many different types of relationships, but like you said, a relationship ebbs and flows. It comes and goes, and sometimes it's smooth, sometimes it's rocky. But it all depends on the individual, what they want to get out of it, and what are their interests with the relation to begin with. Um, like I said, there's so many aspects to go about this relationship thing. I'm gonna start with friendship, for instance. A lot of people just like having someone there that they can talk to, they can relate their issues with, and their likes and dislikes and so forth. Um, with something on a sexual level, it is more deeper than that. But I think the young people they diminish the meaning. It's just my opinion. I'm not saying that's what it is. To me, it
No, no,
seems
you're
like.
entitled to your opinion.
Thank you. And again, it seems like the younger folks they diminish the true meaning of a relationship, regardless if it's friendship, sexual, or whatever. Because
Just 1 minute. I know if it's something on my end, but like me hear no feedback.
say again.
That is probably from your side, Lisa.
I'm gonna come out and join my cause me hear nothing. Like nothing.
No problem.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
So
go ahead,
I
brother. Sorry, brother.
Go ahead, Nelly.
no, you can go ahead. I thought you finished. Go ahead.
No, relationship for me, I hold any type of relationship very sacred to me because number one, I don't let too many people get too close to me because the people of today is not like the people of before. If you ask somebody to keep a secret for you, they swear on the Bible that they would, but next thing you know, is the whole village or city or country knows your business.
I know what
So,
you're saying there.
so I'm very skeptical to tell anyone my personal feelings or personal aspects in life. These days you have to guard yourself because back in the days, many of us was raised on the Bible.
Mhm.
So we have it's people always say God gave us two lips, 2 ears, and 1 mouth for a reason.
Yep.
2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. But today people are going on like they have more mouth than ears.
Mm. I think you should repeat that one. That one gonna fly over a lot of people's head.
I'm back.
Again, I said it is better to move about with 2 ears and 1 mouth, because a lot of people today is moving about with too many mouths and not really listening.
Mm. All right. So since we all have our understanding of relationships at this point, right? When it comes to the intimate aspect of relationship, your partner relationship, how do you guys see this working out in 2025? Whether it be co-parenting, whether it be a new couple, so forth. How do you guys see it working out in 2025, given that the rate of divorce is at an all-time high, right? And this is for the people that's married. The rate of mental health is also at an all-time high. So individuals, male and female, is dealing with, as what they call today, toxicity in relationship, right? So how do we see this working out? How is it benefiting an individual at the end of the day?
Well, it is. I don't think it's benefiting anyone of today. I think it is getting more dangerous. Like I said, people are moving about themselves as they have no foundation whatsoever and no morals. So I feel once you have no foundation, you have no morals, you will fall for any and everything. So therefore, you would not cherish anything such as a relationship. You would be in for a selfish reason.
Mm.
That is
Um,
so factual, because I was looking at some young men was saying the other day that nobody falls in love anymore. Everybody gets into situationships. So it's basically all about sex and nothing intimate when it comes to relationship right now. Nobody takes the time to get to know their partner properly. Nobody takes the time to, acknowledge the fact that, let me learn about this person. They dislike me. Like, no, everybody just focus on sex. That's all they focus on.
well, you can't
And
say
I say
everybody, because
something.
while the young are still old, eh?
True, makes sense. But look at it from well, let me share my experience among. I think I'm the smallest here, right? Now, for young people, everybody jumping in something with like from the past. They always talk about like this hard because whoever hurt them in the past, now they focus is just to hurt and get back at people. It's like they more focus on themselves and doing stuff for benefit them and not really focus on their partner.
And
Mm.
again, Lisa, that falls back on folks not having a foundation growing up and not having any morals growing up. You know, um, I I I don't know if you've listened to the last podcast, but I think the system has a grave influence on our younger ones today. Number one, when they took away discipline from the school, and
Mhm.
yes, when they took away discipline from the school and I mean prayers from the school, they killed our generation of today and maybe our generation of tenfold to come.
They had a saying back in the days. I'm trying to remember it exactly, but it's something they used to say that starts from home. I can't remember what is that one word, but it's pretty much saying that your upbringing, your teaching starts from home. The basic training starts from there. So, from my experience, right, there's a lot of broken homes. So if something is to start from home and we have a bunch of broken relationships today, then I think we have a perfect example.
Most definitely. I must agree.
Um, when it comes to relationship, right? I am not sure what you guys' personal experience, who's in a relationship currently, who's married. So you guys could probably go around and let the listeners know who's in a relationship, who's married, and what have your experience been like in either.
Sorry, Martin, can you go that over for me? I didn't get that clearly.
So I was asking if everybody could go around the panel and say if they're currently in a relationship, whether it be married or living home or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the case may be. And if you're not, from your past relationship, how was it, why it ended, and how is the one that you're in now?
All right, so I think I'm going to kick this one off because this one seems a little. So sorry about that, the interruption. I was saying, I think that I will kick this one off. Yes, I'm currently in a relationship, and for me, it's going okay. The only thing that I think it's lacking a lot is communication because of the distance that we live. He's in the States and I'm in Guyana. So the distance basically is what intervened in our communication. But otherwise than that, everything is going okay.
Lisa?
So, hi, good night. I recently came out to one. Long story short, I could say that what to say. I ain't really gotta go into deep in this story, right?
You could give me the surface.
So, just to put it like some people make you feel sorry for them just so that they could walk all of you. Um, I mean, communication is the key, what's not, but these young man these days will get a thing in the head that they must get the person, but they mustn't touch a person, but they must get other person. And then they put it in this way that oh, if you really really love them, you would understand them, and So yeah, I think it's pretty much. I think I'll get
Sound like you had one of them manipulative type.
very. Oh my god! But you live and you learn. I
Yes,
don't wish
yes, most
bad on
definitely.
nobody and what's not. I just wish them all the best in life, and hopefully they succeed and thing in the future. There's about
Mm.
it.
Brother?
Well, yes, yes, sir. I've been married for 23 years, and it certainly had its ups and downs. Um, I'm a person that believes once you have children, it doesn't matter, you know, how rocky the relationship is with your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
You should seek counseling and go to the length to make sure you salvage that family, because today, like you've mentioned, the divorce rate is extraordinary. It's overwhelming. And for us,
Yes.
as how should I put it? For us as Afro Guyanese, or I don't know about much of the other races. I'm not trying to make it a racial thing, but I feel that if you don't know yourself, if you don't know yourself, you cannot help your community.
Mm.
Now we've went from good to worse in the past decade in terms of rearing our family correctly, and a lot of it has to do with finances. There's a lot of problems over money.
Yes.
There's and that's the wrong focus. I think we should focus on the children that we bring into this world because they deserve a fair chance in this life. Whether black, Indian, white, Chinese, whatever you are, you know. Other races are flourishing, and other races have the same problems we do, but we seem to be the one that's neglecting our problems, and we're making it worse for ourselves. You
Mm.
know.
True, true, true. Because you would find most of the East Indian race would like, say through the little rocky wherever they're going through, and they would make things work and provide stuff for the children.
Yeah.
Well, we just up and about, as is guessing, as one gone, the next one burner.
Yes.
Yep.
It's a lackadaisical attitude. We're too selfish. We have grown too selfish over the times, and we don't think about the overall success of a family. Back in the days, they used to say it takes a village. Not used to, it was practice. It takes a village to raise a child. I remember getting in trouble in the school in Calcutta village, and the teacher would whoop me. And before I meet him, I already got about 3 or 4 licks on the street. I done got about 3 or 4 whooping, and before I get the grand finale when I reach home. That is the concept.
Mhm.
Now they're taking that aspect and calling it abuse. It's not abuse. Yes, there are some people that are very abusive to a child, but I feel that I did not regret the way I was raised because I would not be the respectable man I am today. And that
Just
Likewise.
to interject, right? I mean, not everybody got knocked the child skin, but like complain, let the parents deal with it. Cause me for one, like you will make me know I guess so big, don't be knocking me. It's like,
well,
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 I think this is the mindset that the individuals have today, because back then I couldn't have said it. As much as
no,
later on I did say it, but if you know you do wrong, you get punished in some way or the other, right? I mean, in
true, but listen to
2025.
me. I mean, you could go and complain to the parents, let the parents deal with it. Like,
So
imagine
I
it.
I
Just
I
put it
think the
like the
thing
poor
back then.
child. You don't beat this one. Uncle Jones, you don't knock you. I hear you get in this fight with. So by the time the child reach you, the child done must he have alive, and then still got collect the next set of licks. Like they could
Mm.
cause depression, they could raise depression. You don't know what's going on through the child mentally and all. And then they get peer pressure. It's a lot for me personally. It's like go explain to the parents, let the parents deal with it.
I understand what Carlos is saying, right? Sorry, I understand what Lisa is saying, right? But I have a question. My question is basically this to everybody who feel they should answer it.
Mm.
Right now, like how they're not implementing licks in school, or they're not implementing licks in school and all these punishment that you guys want to call it. Back then and now, you see, now we're having kids in school having sexual intercourse. We're having kids in school saying that they're in a relationship, and at the back of the school doing stuff that is very not for a child to do. So you're saying that this could cause depression, but don't you think that having some sort of discipline within the school would be able to stop these things from happening?
Mind
no.
you, we were using example with the village, with the neighbors are beating the child. Me reach the school yet. And if we're doing it from a school aspect, well then yeah, the teacher have the right to discipline the child because why a little child want answer back me and refuse to do me schoolwork like me not understanding. Or if they want focusing so much on the beating part, punish them in other ways or different method.
You, you see, that's the misconception we have. We need to stop using this word as beating and licks and it because that's not what it truly is. It's called discipline. You know, if a child is not disciplined, I mean, you guys can look around today and see what's happening. These guys
Mm.
are wearing their pants under their behind And then they would see an old lady struggling on the street and wouldn't even help her. That's from lack of discipline. So when they took away the power from the schools and they took away the power from the parents, because now they're saying that the parents cannot discipline the child. They can call the police and this and that, and that's wrong.
I sorry, but a different thing, Guyana. Like parents are still beat kids in Guyana. Mean about but yeah.
Hi,
Again,
people. Can we not stray away from the main topic of tonight, please?
no, we're not staring away. It has to do with the main topic, because to have a relationship means you're gonna have children, you're gonna have marriage, you're gonna have divorce. So it's all in the mix. It's all in the mix.
Correct. We trying
You
to say
know
is that if you get discipline from small, how you gonna end up get it later on in life? And then when you listen to
exactly.
some of your partner and be like, oh, well, my grandfather did do, my grandmother does, blue, 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 and she still say, you see, she end up getting ring, or like they don't. Yes, I always try to bring up some story or something for cover up their nonsense that they doing, which is total wrong. If you're wrong, you're wrong.
So I think the major problem that we have, right, and we're facing, whether it be from the community to the household to the school, you guys mentioned individuals being disciplined, right, from different persons within the community. So within that in itself, because we would have stopped that based on how everybody feel, this is why we now have a generation of people that have no feelings, right? Because
Exactly.
everybody wants to feel some type of way, but really and truly miss the whole point of being disciplined, right? In the aspect of the household, if you're not being disciplined, if you can't discipline you from the road and somebody see you doing wrong, then how could you then reach home and be disciplined? So I think there is parts of where we have the breakdown. And much as when that child goes to school, they for sure ain't listening to the teacher, because as some people say, yes, not my mother and my father, so you can't beat me, you ain't make me, right? But if we had kept, certain things in place, then individuals, whether it be child and adult, because is the adults wayward, much less the children, right? We would have had a better upbringing of our youths today. And this is where it comes back to having a stable or a thriving relationship. Because I could imagine, I got kids, right? I got a couple of kids. I ain't going to say it out, but I got a couple of kids with two different young ladies. And I am a very disciplined person. I like me house clean. I like me clothes clean. I like certain things, like the old school way, because I was raised to go on your knees at a very early age and scrub the step on, like my mother said, until it's white, right? And I know how to cook from an early age. I know how to take care of myself, my siblings from an early age. And I am worried about my children, because they would get up and jump and eat and get up and gone on the tablet or the phones. And I got to make sure I say, hey, we not going in for that. When you wake up, no phones, you go brush your teeth, you do certain things according to how at least I used to do it growing up now, right? Because we all know when you get up out your bed back in the days, your mother's get the tea going, the music playing, and all the children going outside or in the house, whatever, cleaning the yard, especially on the weekends. We don't have that today. So what I try to do with my children, on a Fridays, I just let my son know, well, my older son, hey, you got to go wash your shoes, because when you go to school Monday morning and the dirty does on you, right? And that is me showing him discipline in a sense. And if he don't wash your shoes, I just left it right there. Although you could now in 2025, you could take it and throw it in the washing machine. I refuse to throw the shoes in the washing machine because I didn't have a washing machine growing up. So you ain't going to be able to live an easy life, right, without learning anything. When it comes to the tablets and the gadgets, I make sure I take them away at a certain point in time. But then again, the school demands them to do online work. So you could only do so much within society today. Because when I raise my voice loud, obviously the women are going to like it, right? Because I speak with a authoritative voice and a tone. So when I speak in the house, they know, well, daddy is talking, right? Especially for the children. and they will listen. Not that they have to, they will listen whether they like it or not, because I'm going to make sure they listen. When it comes to the mother could talk 100 times and then still got call me. So I think we have a major breakdown somewhere along whereby certain things we need to keep in place. And just to let you guys know, it is not illegal to give your child a whipping or a spanking in the US or the UK and so forth. You could beat them, just don't bruise them skin.
So so with that being said, Martin, what are we gonna say about these kids that goes to school and get influence from a friend or from a group of friends? What are we gonna say about that? Because as much as we can, okay, my parent can say this, I can get this, but then I see my friend doing this, and I feel like, okay, I should try the same thing, or my friend encouraged me to try what they're doing. What do we do in that inspect? Because we can't always protect the child, right?
So I think this is where it comes back to the community, because if the community was able to raise that child or individuals to a certain standard, they would have a certain moral compass ticking within themselves, so everybody know right and wrong. So even if you're being peer pressured, you as an individual know, well, in your stomach, you feel this is wrong, and you know your mother not like this, you father not like this, you don't even like it in that moment. A lot of times some people walk away, but when it comes to peer pressure in general, it is kind of hard to step out because you don't want to look like a punk amongst your friends. So you end up doing whatever it is. But it comes back to the house, the school, the community. Everybody have a part to play. And if we don't play our part, we're going to continue to see a alienated society.
That's correct. And it, for,
Go ahead, my boy. Sorry.
it's okay. I think that there's been too much power taken from the man, which is the foundation of the family, and put into the women and the children's hands of today. Because it is 1,000 times harder for a man today to make it in this world. For our black men, our young black men, it is so hard for us to make it because it's been set up that way. It's been orchestrated that way. Once you control the women and children and turn them against the men, then you've conquered a race. And that's why we've been in slavery for over 400 years. We're in slavery today and we don't even know it.
Mm.
We don't even know it.
True, makes sense.
Because we
Continue.
just 1 minute, Lisa. Give me 1 minute. Because we are still our own worst enemy. We are killing ourselves. We are spending unnecessary money on things that's not even related to us. You know, we're putting money in everybody else's pocket instead of our own. We're not supporting our own people. You know, so we're lost as a race and as a people. That's why our children is running wayward. Go ahead, Lisa.
I get a little lost, but hold on. So the Bible said the man should be a head, but I think this whole little disrespect stuff's coming from when females start learning to walk, because if it ain't home, although the man's supposed to be the head, imagine me as a woman providing for this family, you ain't doing nothing, and then you want to come raise new vice at me. Understand? So
I understand the perspective you're coming from. That's where the relationship is lack communication. You know, if it's
correct.
if you guys are on one accord and the man cannot find a job at the moment and the woman is, then you two should have an understanding of that, have an understanding of that, so you guys can work towards him getting a job or establishing his own business, whatever the case may be. But sometimes women take that tool and use it as a power tool against the man. I'm making the money.
Correct, correct.
I'm doing this in the house. You just staying home all day smoking your weed and blah blah blah.
Or
So
sometimes it could goes back with peer pressure, like with one of your colleagues and be like, imagine just get here at home, he ain't doing nothing. There's not
yeah,
really for you, and it's
correct.
the whole cycle. Everything start right back again.
That's so correct, man.
I mean, I also think we need to reread them scriptures with a different perspective, right? And I say that because while I do believe the man is the head of the home, men are usually not at home, right? Now, if you think about it, how could I be the head of something that I have almost no control of, or my presence is not there at least 90% of the time? So
But if you
in my
give Martin, hold on. But if you give a female the billing, she could make it a home. You give she these vegetables or these grass or whatever, and she make it a meal. So it got a part for play on both ends.
of
You
course,
just can't do nothing. She doing everything, and
of course. Well, those for these young men, I don't know many men who don't work today. I mean, of course, they try to switch it up. I think last year and a couple of years back, whereby they're trying to make house husbands. But men are naturally outgoing. We're natural hunters. We cannot be house husbands, right? But some get comfortable in that space. I mean, every man wants to be pampered and wants to be treated with love and care and all them fancy things. But we don't want to be home just sitting on ourselves. That's not how it works.
true makes sense. But speaking from this younger generation, being a part of it, these men these days, I don't know if by they don't have no father role, no father figure where it's in their life. They just lock all of them, just focus on You might sit on your bio, oh, me never go walk. I look for some big auntie, some girl check out mine. Or start texting or talking to them couple days. Send me this or send me that. It's like they want do the fancy stuff, kind of a young lady out on dinner or no, they expect it like they want me treated like a female. This is best way I could put it over.
Women
And
fighting for equality, so you can't blame the men. You cannot fully blame the young men. Remember, we women want equality. We are fighting for what we think,
This
it should
pig,
be
please
equal.
kill it. Please kill the pig.
hold on. Another aspect is, a woman cannot teach a boy how to be a man. They cannot,
Correct. It all start
and
from the
and
home.
vice versa. So I think even if it's a co-parenting thing, the mistake that I see in our society is that the women always downplaying the man. Even if he is paying child support, even if he is contributing to his child welfare, if this woman is mad at this man for whatever reason, she'll talk nonsense to the child about his father. So he'll grow up with this stigmatism about him that his father is no good. And what do you think he's gonna become? No good.
Mm.
That's
I
so
don't
Even if
true.
think
it,
a lot of women in that position.
yes,
Go ahead,
a
Nelly.
lot. Go ahead now.
Go ahead, Martin.
Now I was going to say I don't think a lot of women in that position thinks about the repercussions of their actions now, right? Because
Definitely.
from experience, I grew up in a single parent home. But every now and then, I could honestly say there was a male figure around, whether it be an uncle or a cousin or whatever the case may be, right? So I personally pull my knowledge from the streets, right? But within the household, my mother kind of, if I'm looking at it from a different perspective today, my mother kind of became a man because she had to raise 5 children by herself, right? So she had to play both roles in the event now whereby I don't even think my mother understand what it is to be a woman today. And this is me being honest. Because she would have been stuck playing both sides, that it's confusing now that she don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
With that being
So
said,
at the,
Martin, are you
mhm.
finished? I
Yeah,
was
yeah, go
about
ahead.
to say that I grew up in a single parent home. I grew up with my mom and my two siblings, and never one day my mom opened her mouth to tell me of how bad my father is. Even to a day like today, I didn't know why the two of them separate. She never, paint a picture within our mind that, he was never there, he don't have time for you. And these are things that we had to grow up for ourselves and learn. And you know, it comes back to parents allowing it really come back to us as kids, and also parents allowing us to know stuff for ourselves, because when you influence a child, especially a male child, it it could cause a lot of stuff. Because I know a friend that has only girls, and I said to him, man, why is it you only got daughters? He turned and said, I don't want a son because I don't want to be a thief in the street.
Mm.
So people
But
basically say he grew up with the mother, so he can be a thief in the streets. That is what society is saying. But there are mothers that grow their son into being good men. My brother, I have an older brother, and he grew up with my mom, and he's a gentleman. He is a gentleman. So it
so
doesn't
let,
always
let
have
me
to look
ask you a
at.
question, Nelly, about your brother. Is he more of on the masculine side or on the feminine side with
Oh,
behavioral
he is
patterns and so
way
forth?
on the masculine side. He is fully on the masculine side. My brother is My brother is to me, he's my role model of what I do not want to say that I would look for somebody that, take after him, but I didn't have that father figure in my life, and my brother was my role model. And in order for him to be my role model as a father, he had to get influence from my mom. So
Mhm.
he's fully on the masculine side.
And
Definitely.
would that masculine side be considered misogynistic
Not
today,
everyone
according
will
to
understand.
the terms?
Right. Am I right or wrong? Not everyone will.
I am not sure.
So
I am
much
not sure.
misogynistic in the point of view of him having multiple girlfriends or multiple children around the place and these sort of things.
Can you go that back for me, Martin?
Now I'm saying, would your brother be considered misogynistic by him having multiple girlfriends around the place or multiple children with different women and these sort of things? Is this a part of your brother trait, or he's just
No,
straight out a cool gentleman?
my brother does not have any kids. Um, and he does not have a lot of girlfriends. I would say he's straight up a gentleman. My brother know how to treat a woman like a woman.
How much is not a lot?
Yeah, don't run
He
from the
Um,
question.
hello, but
he has
going back to
he has
being like
one girlfriend that I
self-discipline.
know. He has
Hmm.
one girlfriend that I was introduced to, and he never introduced me to anybody else. So I can only speak for what I know. So I
Understood.
Okay.
met one individual as his girlfriend, and I've never met anybody else.
Because why
So
I
I can only
ask,
speak for.
yeah,
Mhm.
why I ask is the problem. The problem comes whereby when you're being raised by a woman, majority of the time you end up acting like a woman in a sense. Whether it
Yes.
be, let's say you get in an argument, and men naturally don't want to argue back with
Nope.
man, much less woman. So if you
Not
see
at
a
all.
man just there out and he cussing out and he getting on, that's naturally a female trait, right?
Exactly.
And if you see you might see he got one girlfriend, but you also say he ain't got a lot. So you probably only know one, but
Yep.
he got a couple outside, and society gonna look at him like, we could tell you didn't had a father wrong. We could tell you was raised by your mother, right? Naturally, I know for sure there's a breakdown by not having a father, because a
Yes.
father would say, well, hey, this is how you have to treat your mother. This is how you have to
Mhm.
treat a woman. And a mother could only show you how to do it, while the father gonna tell you. So while your brother is nice with women, or his one woman, and treating them right, he probably buy roses every now and then, open the car door, open the house door when they go in, he's in
Martin,
front and
Martin, Martin,
leading.
Martin, 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 Martin. I never said that my brother is an angel sent from heaven. Unfortunately, he's not. He would not be buying anybody roses and opening the car door. They got to open the car door themselves.
Why you just come with a big switch up so Nelly?
I said he's a gentleman. I never said he's a saint sent
Well,
from
open
heaven.
No,
up
but
the car
Okay?
door is being a gentleman.
He's
correct.
Buying
not
roses
opening no
is being
car door
a
for anybody.
gentleman.
He gonna let them open the car door themselves. But when I said he's
That's being a
very
gentleman.
when I said he's a gentleman, also let's go back into the argument thing. I don't
Mhm.
think my brother is one that would go back arguing with anybody. He's more of a silent person. And we say silence is dangerous. But yeah, when I say gentleman, I mean he knows how to talk to a lady. He knows how to approach a lady. But
Mhm.
I don't think he would buy anybody roses and open anybody card. No, that's way to the extent.
That is not an extent. That's a polite thing to do. That's a gentleman thing to do.
Yes.
Correct,
Let's
correct.
remember that my brother grew up in the 21st century and he didn't grow up in 1990s. Let's
Look,
remember that my brother is a 2000 baby and he has some worth of the 2000 something in him. Let's just remember
oh,
that, okay?
oh,
I mean,
okay. So it's clear to say that the generation of today really have no clue what being a gentleman is.
mm,
Did we lose somebody? We lost someone.
yeah, I think her signal dropped.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't have to be her brother in general, because I
No,
could
no, no.
personally
We're
say,
not speaking specifically of her brother, but
yeah,
in
but I
general.
yeah, I could say for myself, I don't do the whole chivalry stuff either. And this is why I asked, because maybe you gotta ask the question so you could get the answer. So I kind
Yeah.
of want to know what is my problem, because I have been asked to buy roses, buy chocolates, take me out on dates, and these sort of things, right? So
Yes.
while I'm not able to do all these things, I personally cannot tell you why I don't do it, but
Mhm.
it's like I ain't built like that. You know what I
No,
mean? I rugged. So I
e-
don't buy roses. I
exactly.
can't say I've ever done it. I
I,
don't buy roses. I don't do I do dates. I like the finer things in life naturally because I'm a Leo, no? So we like
yeah,
to live like kings and so on. But then
correct.
again, me ain't going out me way for please no woman and them side of thing. And I have seen over time that is a problem in my relationships because women want these things, they want to be treated and felt some type of way. When they're in the bed, they want your foot touch their foot, or they want to lay down for you hand till you hand nearly dead and them side of thing. So I just want to know if it's me is the problem or is everybody else. You know them ways.
Well, it's like we're speaking about how you were brought up and stuff. Maybe you were brought up in this macho environment that you have no concept what it's like to buy a woman a rose. Nobody never taught you that. Me personally, I was raised by my grandmother. She didn't speak a lot. All we did was go to church, take care of the animals, go to the farm, and this and that. So that's where I get my sensitive side from. But
Mm,
my macho side, I've also learned from reading books and watching movies and stuff like that. I would consider myself a pretty romantic type of guy, but not to the extent where a woman feels spoiled. You know what I'm
mm,
saying?
yeah.
I would do it because it not only pleases her, it pleases me as well,
Correct, correct.
because I just want to see this look on her face when I got her this rose, ever maybe once in every 6 months or so.
Mhm.
I'm not crazy with it because number one, I don't believe in killing the rose. but, it's just it shows how important it is to me for to use a little bit of patronization with the rose and the chocolate. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
I mean, we have the young ladies on the line. They could probably speak on the experience of receiving a rose if they have ever received one. And we ain't talking about the exotic rose. We're talking about the
No,
rose with the
no, no.
thorn and so on. Right?
Um, I have never received a rose. I'm gonna be honest, but I've been taken out on dinners before. I have been bought gifts and stuff. None of those gifts are like roses. Um, so there are gestures whereby I don't have to do anything, but I get a present. So that those are good moments. You feel like you mean something to someone. Somebody actually remembers you on a day-to-day basis.
How about you, Lisa?
Why you come out to embarrass me like this, man?
It's not an embarrassment. We're here having a natural
um,
conversation.
um, So there's gonna go back like in secondary school and you had your little boyfriend and girlfriend just in the talking stage. I mean, no, we didn't do anything, but you say your lunch and thing and thing and thing and thing. But now when you get big, I don't know. You just find these young man be like, Uzo, I must look like a Prakash.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Now, if a young man was to bring you a rose and some nice overseas chocolate, what would it do to you?
Me personally, I feel I was smell like a little clothes, like a
As a
little bag.
child.
Just see the light. Just thought about it. It's just giving goosebumps. Like, let me
Exactly.
get
So,
married, baby. Let me get married. Let me go to post off some sign and paper.
I got start buying roses if there's the feeling yeah, let's get.
serious,
Yeah,
brother, serious. You don't know what you're
like
missing, man.
like the person care for you. They gonna protect you. Like they right for you. It's like you feel a little sense of want. Love and belonging feelings. But these days, these young niggas in this generation, there's allo. I don't know put in precaution. If you want to go to Kuli, go to Sunil. Bad man, they don't do, code.
Yeah, we've lost all sense of romance.
Well, I could tell based on what I hearing that I'm missing out right now. Because if I could be experiencing Alida and I is about 30, I've been in a couple relationships at this point, and me never hear them big smiles and see it and these sort of things. So
Brother,
I missing out. Because now I
brother,
learn about it.
just use it as an experiment and you see.
When see, I just want to go all out. See, I've seen
Or at
Kanye
least like
West
a
and
little
them.
teddy bear and something for this true.
Yes.
Like,
Mm.
oh God. And not for the one side unfair. I mean, for the females that listen to me, once in a while you could get up and spell you, man. Like you feel a little sense of belong, like you feel valued by you too, and let them know that everybody's human being. I know you got feelings too. You ain't gotta act all tough and yeah, we got you too. We got you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
man. Take your man out somewhere. Take him to his favorite bar, his favorite restaurant. You know?
True, but then it all goes back to I guess we already male start with the female. Because if
Well,
female is fresh, like sure most of them get back the same feeling in return.
so when she take him out, is she paying or he
Of
still
Of
got
course.
pay?
course, hello,
No,
start
no,
with
no, no. She's paying.
my
Okay.
ex. They had
But
like three,
but good
but
luck
like
finding one of
3 years.
those today.
But by they're not accustomed to it, they just I don't know. I don't know. These I consider very grateful. I went
No,
back.
you see, it's not ungratefulness. It's they've never been treated as the king they are and as the prince that they are.
Mhm.
All they've been hearing, you're a rapist, a murderer, a robber, a thief, a this, a that. So that's a programming. All these music videos they listen to is telling them they're nothing but murderers, rapists, and thugs and dunce. There's nothing aspirational about being dunce.
I agree.
The
I
dunce thug. What
I
kind of
don't see it making
nonsense?
sense. And
Um,
it's be
um,
the most highly educated people who's coining these phrases, done stug or
yes,
whatever terms that they want to use. And I
yes,
naturally cannot. I didn't went to the brightest school and the best school, but I can't put myself in that category to say, well, I is a part of the Dunstug Association or I is a
yes.
part of this gang and this clique and these sort of things. Because not that I wasn't raised like they just don't make sense to me as an individual at the end of the day.
Not at all. There's nothing commending about being dunce or being called a dunce thug, whether you have education or not.
Mhm. So since we have two married personnels and well, two what is called singular living home personnels, right? What have you guys experienced been like being married? Because you personally, brother, I would have been married 20 plus years. And Nelly, you could let us know how long you've been married and how that experience, what is it like? Let me know why I'm
Yeah,
missing out.
enlighten me on this marriage life so I can know like what expect and
Well, being married to me is sacred, and I treat my wife as the queen that she is, and sometimes I wonder if she sees me as a king, but that is not the point. I try to overlook that and just keep doing what I'm doing until the universe says otherwise. Regardless of how she treats me, I want my children, them, especially my sons, to see that I treat my wife with respect and I take care of my children. I'm a home daddy. I was fortunate enough to set myself up with a business at an early age so I can stay home and I still make more than my wife. You know,
Big
and
flex,
I
big flex.
yes, and I think she's a bit jealous of that. And at times she tries to treat me as a king, but as a man, you can tell when it's genuine and when it's not. But it doesn't stop me, I keep on going, and like the thing said, till that do us part,
Yes.
you know. I'm gonna keep taking care of my responsibility. I decided a long time ago to put my relationship and my children first and to forget myself, not as a man or as a king, but to put myself into that position. But
Mm.
to forget the I in me.
Yeah.
Like I want this, I want that. Why you don't treat me this way? Why you don't this? I don't like confrontations. So
Uh,
I do the best I can. I take my daughters out on dates. We have daddy daughter dates.
mm.
I take my
people.
son. I teach him how to fish.
We never experience them, fancy things. So
I know. I know. I know. I know. It's sad, but it really is a beautiful thing to a young lady. You
Mm.
know, for a
and
father
and
to
I mean, when she growing up, at least she'll know what type of men in general to choose or be with.
exactly.
Going looking at other people, searching for little love, and people might
Yeah,
take it for loss or take advantage of she, and yeah.
exactly. It sets a standard for that young lady. And if that gentleman that's interested in her doesn't come correct, then she knows he's a fraud.
Mhm.
Correct, correct.
I mean, I don't have the 100% experience like you have as yet, brother. Well, today I would have danced with my daughter. I like to dance, with my
That's
children.
wonderful.
And she was playing the song was once I be 30 years old. I just got cold, whatever the song is. But she
Yeah,
was playing that and sitting while I'm working. And I picked her up and I danced with her and then we had a moment.
that's
I
awesome.
usually do that with all my children. My
Yes,
son, he's very energetic, so we just pally around the room and run around and go on, to have a memorable moment.
yeah.
But
I think.
I personally, go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was saying I personally, like I said, I was never raised in a household with males, right? I am the third of five children. My older brother recently passed away. So he also didn't have the level of experience compared to having a two-parent household and these sort of things. So we
Yeah.
grabbed our education from the streets, whereby
My,
I joined the gangs and these sort of things, but we had
yeah,
rules that kind of kept me in line so I could
yeah.
learn a couple things from different people.
My condolences to you. But
Appreciate it.
us as Guyanese parents, I think that's one of the first thing we learn how to do. We put our children on our legs and we teach them how to dance, our feet. And those are some very memorable moments indeed. So you're doing okay. You're doing all right with your children, brother. Don't
Trying
stop.
and
Keep
trying.
doing it.
Yes,
Keep
sir.
doing it. And there's a whole lot more to learn. You know what I'm saying? We see it in movies all the time, but we take it for granted. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? We take it for granted. But one thing we fail to realize too, everything that everybody else is doing in the world today and being successful and having a strong family, they learn that from us.
Yes. Yes.
They have taken every page out of our books, out of our ancestors' books, and turned us into them.
Mm.
They even have it in the U.S. Constitution that we are 3/5 of a man, which makes us lower than an animal or close to the animal.
Yeah, I just heard that today. Even
You
I was
know,
watching.
so they are the one that has found to have animal DNA in them. And we are the only human beings they found at just human being DNA.
Hmm. They
So,
find faults in things, man.
what? We have to teach ourselves. We cannot leave it up to the school and the system and everybody else. There is so much information out there, but we're watching the wrong things on these phones, man.
Hmm.
We need to educate ourselves, and then we can raise strong children. We can give them a foundation. We can teach them about relationships, whatever we know and whatever we've learned.
Agree.
And they need to know that they come from royal lineage, straight from the Most High. We are the closest thing and the most ancient thing on this earth. That's why it's so hard for them to get rid of us.
Mm.
Because remember, they wiped out the Native Americans,
Yep. 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 I
and they
mean, not to blow up your spot, right? But I kind of want to ask you, since you've been in a long term relationship more than anybody else here tonight, how have how are you able to keep that in place? Because I'm pretty sure in your time they had enough women running around, right? Where you could have pick and choose even to today, because ain't nothing really changed, especially the looking different now, the body do up and everything. So how
yeah.
have you been able to keep yourself committed to one woman? Because I personally have a different mindset when it comes to the relationship aspect of monogamy and polygamy and these sort of things.
Okay.
Yes,
Well,
Martin. Let's talk about
I,
polygamy.
I I do not believe in monogamy.
You gotta say that
I'm
again.
going to tell you, God always finds favor in a man that has more than one woman. Have you ever noticed that?
One more time for the
Now,
people in the back.
now there's a level of respect that comes with that. You
Hmm.
know, the story of Solomon with 700 wives and 500 concubines, and why did God punish him? Not for having so many women and concubines, but for following their God. He
Mm,
forgot his God.
mhm,
And there's nowhere in the Bible that says a man should have one wife.
mhm.
No way. It just says respect your wife, commit to your wife, uh, obey your husband, and submit to him.
Mm.
So I hi. Can I say something? Can I say something? I've been quiet for way too long.
Go ahead.
So this. I said something like this the other night when I was on another podcast on TikTok. I do not believe in a man having one woman to himself. My thing is, nothing is wrong with a man dating two women. Polygamy is a thing that I support. It's a thing that I go for. Nothing is wrong with having sister wives. You know, we can live in the same home and also if you want kite so far. We can take care of the kids together. We can cook together. When I'm tired, you can get it done. You know, those type of things. I'm all for that. I'm very much all for that.
But the people of the young folks of today, they don't understand these things because, like I said, there's a level of respect to it. You have to let the other woman know about it. You know, she has to be in agreement with it.
Mhm.
And I believe it's very fruitful for a child because now let's say I have 5 wives or 4 wives or whatever. Now these are 4 different women with 4 different personalities teaching these children many things. Maybe they all speak different languages. So that's 4 different languages you're adding to these children upbringing.
Yes.
And that is an admirable thing. It works for them, not against them. And again, we will have the village again.
Mm.
Like I
Please.
said, the things that they're doing today, they stole from us and gave us their nonsense. They are the one that make these rules that we should only have one wife, while they having many wives, and you're not hearing about it.
Well, I could say they don't have
Yep.
wives, and
Yep.
we're not gonna call the race, because I personally don't like to do the race thing since I born and grown guy, and we got everybody here in this one melting pot. So we just say
Yeah.
faces. I would say that face don't do what we just do as um these type of men, right? Men of African descent or men
Yeah.
of certain type of upbringing. Whereby the other side, it just like how we just take our women, put them up in a house. I would
Yeah.
hope that you just treat them nice and these sort of things.
Yeah.
The other side is put them out in the streets and put them to work. And this is how we have
Exactly.
hundreds of prostitutes. Because while
Yeah.
they can't take it home, like Nelly was saying, she want to have that sister wife experience. While they can't do that, they put them in the streets and they book the closest motel or hotel room available.
That's true. That is true. But you see, the Muslim religion is the youngest religion on this earth, and they got it partially correct.
Mm.
I'm not knocking against any religions. I think that there's substance in every religion, but I don't think one religion holds all the truth and all the laws and all the facts of how man should be governed upon this earth.
Yes. And that also would bring it back into what we would have mentioned earlier of a man being the head of the household.
Correct.
So that is naturally why it don't make sense with that saying in itself. Because if you have 4 wives or 100 wives in the house, you for sure not the head. So I think we've been brainwashed to the extent where we don't even know who we are anymore. Because naturally, I born and mentally raised in a polygamous
We're good, Alex.
mindset, right? Whereby I have always said I am the son of Solomon with
Yes.
my level of knowledge that I came on the earth with, and I've been working diligently to preserve said knowledge, along with maneuvering through these times, because it's a trying time we're in. So when I would tell a woman, well, this is who I am, this is how I want to live, majority of the women is for it, or they would say they're for it, but then
And
they're really and truly not, because they're jealous of whoever,
yeah,
right? So I've always been dealing with that spectrum of things, even with the families that I would have been able to create for myself. I would have personally see the whole backbiting, the whole jealousy thing played out,
So
amongst
Martin,
the women. Mhm.
so
yeah,
Martin, so Martin, I'm going to
Go ahead.
use a statement. You can't put 2 tigers in a room, 2 female tigers in a room, and don't expect them to scratch at each other. This is where you come in as the man now. You're in charge. You're the head of the home. This is where you come in and you said, hey, this is what we're going to do. If we're going to do this together, this is what we have to follow to get it done. This is where you step in, because I know of an instance of a man who he has 5 wives. And he lives with all of them in the home, and all of them have a level of understanding, and all of them, yeah, not every day she's gonna agree with the other one, or the other one gonna agree with the other one. It's not every day that that's gonna happen. You are going to have backbites, but it's what you do when you get backbites. It's how you deal with the backbites. You are the man. This is where you stepped in.
Mm.
correct. I
So
must
I
agree with.
lack in somewhere in between there.
Yeah, you are. You are. I would say you're lacking, because now this go back to you being the head of the home. If you want the women to control you, then you let the woman control you. But the thing is, you're the head of the home. You have to put your feet down. You have to start the things out as a man. No, you don't see the president sitting down allowing the wife to control everything, do you?
Well, now we see.
Okay, let's use it as
We
a
don't
king.
know
Look
what's
at the
going on
king.
behind the
Look at
door.
the king. Okay, look at the king. Every
Mm-hmm.
movie you watch with a king, you always see the wife. Yeah, the wife give advice or whatever. But if the king say move, this is why the queen is inferior. This is why the queen is inferior to the king. This is why the queen is under the king. This is why the queen is not as powerful as the king are. Now you're the king. Now you have to use the power that you have. If you're not using the power that you have and you're letting your power sleep, then you're gonna get fight. You are gonna get backbite. You are gonna get people that are not agreeing with each other. Like I said,
And
you can't put
and
two, three women in a room and
and
don't expect to have competition.
not only that,
Mm-hmm.
you also have to let them know. Listen, the first wife is the head wife. She will always be the head wife over the others that come after her.
Come after. Mm-hmm.
Because yes, you chose her for a reason to be your first wife, and she will always be the head wife. She will guide the other wife. She will be able to teach them how to please you.
Mm.
You know
Yeah,
what
because she
makes you
already
tick,
knows what you like.
what don't make you tick.
She already knows what you like. She already knows what make you a happy man.
Exactly.
So now she's a teacher within the home to teach the others what to do to make you a happy man.
Because if I be honest with you, at some point in time, I say, here's what happened. Because I have seen my life played out before me. So I'm pretty much just filling any blanks when it comes to certain things, whereby I'm supposed to have a certain amount of children. I'm supposed to achieve a certain amount of things at a certain age. And these are the things, right? I'm supposed to have a certain amount of women around me and so forth. But you know, when you're dealing with women in, well, I could have said 2024, but now in 2025, when you're dealing with women in 2025 who've been, their minds have been altered from
Yeah,
the time of birth.
you will not get what you're looking for in this time, brother.
Because if I'm a born Muslim, I don't
Okay.
practice, right? The religious aspect, but I've always practiced the belief aspect, whereby, like I said before, I am the son of Solomon. So I know from birth my level of intellect compared to, the average Joe out there. You see, but the thing is, Solomon was he was also cut down because he followed somebody else's teachings. Now,
Yeah.
my thing is, I personally have been trying to, not finding myself in a way, but trying to make sure that I don't follow the wrong ideology, because we have so much things out here today, right? Whereby I believe in God, I pray. I don't pray 5 times a day, but I do speak to God throughout the course of the day. I pray early morning, I pray when I eat, I pray, before I sleep, and these sort of things. But throughout the day, I have a regular conversation with the Most High. So
Oh yes.
when I go through that process, I know that at some point in time, I'm supposed to be fasting, I'm supposed to be praying, holistically. I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be meditating. I'm supposed to be doing a certain level of reading and
That's
experiment.
why I go, come in, come in.
So the thing is, how do I now, as an individual, keep my fire burning, right, without burning down the entire city like we're seeing happen in California today? How do I do that without making sure the Most High, I'm in line with the Most High accordance?
Hey Martin, before not cutting you, check your inbox for me, please. My boy, I think you should answer Martin's question. You would have more insight on how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, my brother. You're correct in searching for yourself in these times and in these days, because we can clearly see that the world is not the world, but the people in the world has gone mad, so to speak. That's how I characterize it. Um, I was born 7 days Adventist, but I've also learned that, like I've mentioned before, there are truth in being in the Muslim religion too, but they're trying to confuse us on so many levels. The thing I've looked at, okay, all these religions we have, they're all worshiping the same God or Allah or Buddha or whatever they call him, but
Mm-hmm.
they're all fighting with each other.
Yes.
So you can clearly see that no one religion has the full truth about the laws of nature and how man should govern himself upon this earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. We as a people have a lot of work to do. We cannot find it by ourselves, but we can certainly keep searching, and we have to start being royal to one another. Start with yourself
Martin, I'm waiting
by
on you.
by
Mm-hmm.
treating yourself royally. By remember the body is the temple of the Most High. So we are always looking in the church for God, and He's right in us. They
Mm.
keep telling us He's right there, and we're not listening. We have to
I
look
mean,
within ourselves, brother. All
well,
the answers that we need is recessive in our DNA. It's laying dormant. We just don't know how to wake it up.
so I think for me personally, the waking up of that thing inside of me, I in from my at the back of my head, I think that might be my downfall. If I move into this level of obedience and power that is within now, right? Because I could honestly say I don't know how to control it if I'm to take off and go on the other side of the map, whereby if I start doing negative, because I always try and train myself to make sure you stick on the right path, do the right things as a man, as an individual, as a human being, as a child of God. So I always
Yes.
try to make sure I walk the straight and narrow path, knowing very well it is so easy to just look on the other side and be distracted.
And that's the thing. We are so afraid of it because we've always been taught to be afraid of it. And they taught us that it is witchcraft and it's witchery and it's obia and it's voodoo and all this nonsense. While
Mhm.
they're using it, again, they're using it. How you think they gain control of us?
Mm.
How you think they control our whole race, brother? Think about it. You got
Yeah,
to
yeah,
have
yeah.
some kind of a supernatural mind frame or belief or act to do such a thing,
Mm.
and to turn everybody else against this one race just because they know the truth about this race.
Yeah.
We are the true people on this earth, the most ancient. And look what they got us doing today. Disrespecting our colors, hating ourselves, bleaching,
Mhm.
what they call it, just toning. What the heck is that? God gave you that melanin to protect you from the harmful rays of the sun. We are called people of the sun. You taking away
Mhm.
what God gave you. That's why they're getting so sick.
I agree.
The sun is what gives us our energy, and we covering up with umbrella because we bleach it. I'm saying we because it's our people.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you got these people on the beach trying to get it, but they can't stay in the sun for like 5 minutes. They'll get
Mhm.
cancer. It goes deeper than what we see, than what the eyes is seeing and what they've been teaching us. That's why we have to know ourselves.
Yeah. So in retrospect, one should be one within self, one should
Yes,
be one within universe and everything else in between.
exactly.
That way we could have that necessary experience.
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. You know,
Because I
I go ahead.
go ahead.
I used to tell people, man, growing up in Guyana, we never got sick because my grandmother used to always give us these medicine, these bushes that she would pick from the yard and boil and give us every 3 months.
Mm.
We ate natural. You know what I'm saying? We was always there's a significance with being barefoot on the ground. People don't realize that lightning comes from the ground and go up. That's why you
Yeah.
always got a split pole or a split tree. They think it's coming down. The electricity that that's supposed to charge our body, we're not getting it because now they're telling us to wear shoes and slippers and things. They laugh at me when I come home and I walk barefoot everywhere.
Yeah,
But they don't
I love to walk barefoot.
they
I
have
love to
no
do.
idea what we're doing. You don't know that we're the most resilient race on this earth, the most strongest people on this earth, man.
Mm.
We can be immortal. We used to live up until 900 years. What changed that? Nobody never wondered about that.
Well, these are some of the things that is behind my head and knocking for come out. But like I said,
Yeah,
I've always said, well, if I tap into certain energies, because we know there's the good and bad, but if I tap into the energy that I'm supposed to tap into, certain relationships, certain people around me, certain things, would be gone because
yeah.
once you're on a certain level of frequency, then the people around you have to be on that frequency or they don't match up. So I
You
think
know?
personally I've been scared to
Yeah.
lose certain people and certain relationships not in general.
And that's not what we should hold on to.
Mm,
We're
Martin?
holding on to the flesh and to the material thing when the true self is yearning to be explored.
yeah.
Martin,
You know,
Go
let
ahead,
them
Nelly.
go. If you know tapping into who you are is going to lose people, then lose people. Then the people then that you lose are people that is not supposed to be around you.
it's not
Hmm.
only that, you may become so spiritual and being raised up to the most high, you're gone from your whole family.
Mm.
It can
Well,
get to that aspect. And
I
and
could I could honestly say I've experienced that on a level already. I had a group of friends today I have no more. Um, a lot of things I
I am
used to do, I
hurt.
do no more, as they say. Well, that's the thing. You're new to the pack, Nelly.
yes,
So if you would have met me a year or two ago, my lifestyle was totally different compared to what I have now, right? And compared to the one that I want to elevate in this year within self, it is super different.
that's it. And that's always the goal. They've, like I said, they've always known more about us than we've known about ourselves. That's why they push certain things for us to eat.
Hmm.
That is also blocking the receptacles from receiving the message from the universe, receiving what the Most High has for us.
Yeah.
You know, and even down to the clothes we wear, we're it's blocking our energy.
No, you're
You know,
good.
That's why I don't wear none.
we are all we are all connected on a spiritual level, so we cannot identify with one another because we are blocking the spiritual energy that we're supposed to be sharing with each other so that we can be on one accord. That's why we're so hateful towards one another, because if we're not getting to release all that energy, we're gonna explode inside naturally.
Mm.
You
You
know,
ain't dead in the spirit, you're dead in the flesh.
you're dead in the flesh, brother. They're only suppressing the spirit more and more, and the deeper they push it down, the more lost they're gonna be, and the more inhumane they're going to be, and they start acting like animals.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing with our generation, with our last couple of generations today. And you see how quick they're dying off?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're dying off quick.
Preservation is key, man. I
Yeah.
don't think a lot of us understand that we need to preserve ourselves. Like I said before, I came with my level of knowledge, and my job is to preserve it. I've been trying to maintain and even evolve to what I already have and what I came with now, instead of
But
losing it. Because I could look at a friend and say, "Well, is what going on with you?"
yes. But the funny thing is, many of us do not come. We came with the knowledge, and it's in our DNA. It's written in our DNA, but we don't realize it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us is not on that level yet, and I don't think
Mm.
that we're gonna get there. unless something supernatural happens. And I think it's happening as we speak. A lot of us is waking up.
That is true.
Yes.
That is so true. That is so true.
A lot of us is waking up. All these signs that we're seeing, all these strange things that are happening, we are waking up and we are getting back into our spiritual self. And we have to prepare ourselves and our children for that.
Yes, yes, I agree.
You know?
So, with that being said, um, we had an amazing conversation this evening. We talked about polyamory. We talked about a lot of stuff that is, yeah, I don't mind me lamenting on the polyamory part because that's my thing, But yeah,
Polygamy.
hello, let me see what you want. Yeah, I don't, yeah, I don't mind me on the polygamy part or whatever. I'm not gonna try to bite my tongue saying that word, but
Okay.
y'all know I'm all for it. But yeah, it was so lovely having the inspiration that you gave to us tonight. My phone is at 1%, and we were supposed to cut off at the time, but you see, it was so touching. It was so
Yeah, you can't cut
mind
sweet
blowing.
conversation.
You can't cut sweet conversation.
That's
Um,
true. That's true. You
so
got to
thank you.
feed the spirit, man. That's what we're doing. It's not just a conversation. We're feeding each other's spirit here.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say thank you to Mr. Moboya Ali
It
for
is my
joining us.
pleasure once more.
And I know Lisa jumped off pretty early. I guess she had something to do. And Martin, thank you, my host. Thank you
Of
so
course,
much
of
for
course.
supporting me and being on this podcast with me and helping us shine, the light on relationship, on family, and on everything that we do when we come on here every Friday.
Yes, most
Yes,
definitely.
yes, and it certainly is a pleasure talking to you, sir. And
Yes,
and
sir.
we, we, we
Likewise,
got
brother.
to we've got to sit down and have a person to person conversation, man.
Here's what happened. We gonna tap in for real. Cause I currently in Guyana. I ain't sure where
Me
you
too.
locate, but we gonna
Me
tap in.
too. I'm
Well,
currently in Guyana
perfect,
myself.
perfect.
So, I can't even say I currently in Guyana because I live in Guyana. I don't like it always. But I can travel out soon. I can travel out soon. It's not you alone.
All right. Well, you
Anyway,
got to link us up, man. You got to link up. You know what I mean?
yeah, I'm going to.
Yes,
I'm going
man.
to. I'm going to. So with the closing off, we're about to close off, and I like asking you guys to leave something with the people. Leave something that the people could remember. Go ahead for me.
Well,
Go ahead, brother.
all right. For the people, always try to learn about yourself, to learn where you came from. You know what is your spirituality, and forget about what people say you are. Stop living a life of false reality. Learn to be the true natural man that you are and woman too, and learn to respect each other on a neutral level, and we'll make each other more powerful than we once was before.
Mm.
Thank you, Martin. I want to go last.
All right, no problem. Well, my 2 cents and what I'll leave with the people is find your purpose. I personally have always known my purpose, and that continues to evolve over time. But find your purpose. I believe once you find your purpose, life is a bit easier for you, and you're able to maneuver. Even though we got a lot of things to deal with in today's time, when you find your purpose, you're gonna remember who you are from even back then because you were always traveling with our ancestors on our backs. So at the end of
You
the day,
can wait
is
for me.
not what we're doing is not for we, is for the fellow follow generation. All right.
You get
And
some chicken salad or
that's
something.
my part on it, Nelly.
All right. So oh, my mic wasn't mute all the time. So I'm going to say sorry. I had a whole lot of thoughts and they come out. But anyway, I'm about to say, don't be afraid to be who you are. Being who you are is what makes you who you are in society. And never let society have an impact on your life, whether it comes to your relationship, whether it has to do with You. That's for me. Like I said. Oh, and this is for the women. It's okay to have a sister wife. Nothing is wrong with it. Yeah, Martin.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Of course, my name is Martin Alameen, and shout out to my co-host Nelly Phoenix. Shout out to our guests, Muburo. Shout out to Lisa and everybody else who would have tapped in and leave their opinions and their comments and so forth. You already know, one love. See you next Friday on the next heated topic and discussion that we also need. And with that being said, do have a blessed evening.
Yes, more life.
Yes, sir.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.